Alright guys, I got a 2020 Jeep Gladiator at the shop today. We're about to add our plug and play remote start onto the factory key. This is going to be the same install for the Gladiator and the Jeep Wrangler JL. So we're going to pull it in the shop and do the install and show you guys how to do it, and then we'll pull it back out and give you a quick demo on it. So the first thing we're going to remove on the Jeep is going to be this bottom panel right here. Just grab it over on the side and you simply pull it straight out, and then just kind of work your way down and then over and around. There's going to be 6 tabs on it, so you'll see 3 here on one side and 3 here on the other. So set this aside. The next panel we're going to remove is the little trim around the headlight switch. So just take a little plastic pry tool and you can simply come right between the dash and the headlight switch bezel, and this will just pop off, work your way around, and it's just held on by a couple clips. Once you guys have the bezel removed, you're going to see a notch here in the center on the bottom and a notch here top. Just take a small flathead screwdriver, stick it in, and then put a little leverage on it, and you're going to pop it right out of the dash like this, so the bottom is loose. Do the same thing with the top, put a little pressure on it, pry it out of the dash, and then it's loose. So go ahead and unplug this connection right here. The next bezel that we're going to remove is this whole trim piece that has the HVAC and the actual start button. What you're going to do is just grab it right down here in the corner and pull straight back on it, and this is held on by only clips, so just kind of work your way around. And then once you have it loose, there are 2 connections here. I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug this so nothing gets scratched up. Last place we need to get to is behind the glove box. You're just simply going to open it up. You're going to see a shock over here on the left side. So just pull this straight back towards you and then out, and you can see that it's free and loose. You just push the glove box in a couple inches, push up on the tab, and then the glove box will come down under it and fall straight to the floor. You're going to see a couple distribution blocks here. We're going to use one of the connections in the green block. So what you're going to do is push it towards the center of the vehicle to release it from the mounting tab. Some of these are really tight, but just give it a push and then lift it up, and you'll see kind of like the hooks here. So when you put it back down, you just put it back down and slide it towards the center, and it will lock into place. Rotate this block so the 3-pin connector is on the bottom left. All the other ones are 2 pins. You'll see a single 3-pin connector right here, and you're going to count over 4 positions. So 3-pin is 1, then we have 2, 3, 4. You should have a yellow wire and a brown white wire. Right here on the side, take a little pick tool. You go right between the green plastic and the white plastic of the connector. You can push in and it will release that latch, and then just lift straight up and it will come out every single time. The purple and yellow wire are cut from the harness on the Jeep applications. These are not used, so go ahead and snip them off. The white black loop up here by the relay connector, which is the biggest connector by the module connections, this wire just gets cut in half. All right guys, we're gonna go ahead and start with a parking light connector up here. Go ahead and take our portion of the harness that's labeled parking lights, and what we're gonna do is basically just fish it right up through the bottom of the dash and over here towards the switch, just like this. You're going to use the square connector obviously because that's what's in the Jeep, so simply plug in the OEM connector to our harness like so. Take the other end of our harness and plug it back into the switch, so it'll just clip right back in. And then the remaining 2 connectors, do not hook them together, just leave them like this, and then go ahead and pop the switch right back into the dash, and then you can put the plastic bezel, snap that back on, and we're good to go. Make sure your switch and the dimmer and all that good stuff is positioned right, because it does get moved when you're moving stuff around. Next connector we're going to install is the one labeled ignition switch or push button, and you're simply going to route this same process underneath the dash, and you're going to bring it out the hole up here where the actual push button resides, and same process. Plug the OEM connector into our harness, and then the other end will go right back into the bezel when you clip it on. So go ahead and grab the section of our harness that has the little 2-pin jumpers on it. So you're going to have one that has the blue and pink wires, another one that has green and brown. The green and brown will not be used, so simply fold those over, either tape it or secure it to the harness so it doesn't rattle. We are going to use the one with the blue and pink wire. The labels on it don't necessarily matter. We are going off of the wire color for the Jeeps. So same process as before, factory connector into our harness like that, and then plug our harness right back into the block. So once you guys have the mounting block secured back to the bracket, go ahead and take the other end of our harness that has the green plug on it like this. This has to run over and plug into the remote start harness. And you're going to route it right up here to the center area, and it's super easy to get to. So then just pull the slack up this way. So you can go underneath the wiring, underneath all the plastic up here. Just keep fishing it over to the driver's side and pull the slack as you do. Once you're over here, you can just kind of go right on down, and then we're going to go back to the driver's side and pull it out from under the dash. You have it over here, you simply plug it right into our harness. So the harness installation is complete. It's all 100% plug and play, and now we're ready to program the module. For the module programming, we're going to refer you to the installation guide. It is super easy. However, firmware can change and it can alter the programming process. So if we show you programming now and somebody buys this 6 months down the road and the programming doesn't line up, people get angry and frustrated, and it's just a mess for everybody. So all up-to-date programming is in the installation guide, so follow the steps. Once you guys complete stage 1, you're going to unplug the remote start module and send it back to us. Take the relay chip with a fuse on it and simply plug it in up here. It's only going to pop into one spot. Make sure that you install the provided drive time cap. So down here where the little adapters are right by the fuse, you're going to unplug the blue connector, plug the drive time cap in, so it's going to look just like this. And what that does is allow you to drive the Jeep without having to pull all this stuff out. When you guys get the module back from us from stage 2 programming, you'll simply take the drive time cap off. I usually tell people to stick it right over the harness in case we need it later on. Plug the connector back in, and now our harness is complete. And then what you're going to want to do is, if you guys have the drive time cap installed, go ahead and unhook that and then reconnect these blue connectors here, just like that. Before you plug the module into the harness, disconnect the relay chip. After the module is completely connected, go ahead and plug the relay chip back in. And now you can go on and plug the module back in after receiving it back from stage 2. Alright guys, we got the Gladiator all finished up. Keep in mind the install is the same for the Gladiator and the JL Jeep Wrangler. So factory key fob, we're going to go ahead and hit the lock button 3 times. So you're going to hit lock, lock, lock. Give it a couple seconds to turn the electronics and everything on, and there we go. So parking lights will come on front and rear. When you guys are ready to come out and leave, just simply hit the unlock button. That starts a 45-second timer for you guys to get in and go. If you exceed the 45 seconds, the Jeep will turn off when you try to get in and do takeover. So you can see it's in the run position, so all you have to do is tap and release the brake pedal, hit the brake, pull it out of park, and away we go.